Welcome to yet another episode of Compas F.C. Like we told you guys, Champions League, that means double the work, double the dedication, but double the love because we obviously love getting you guys the best info out there. I'm Fernando Ramirez, joined as always by Eddie Rodriguez, J.C. Cervantes. Guys, Eddie, how are you doing today?
Love it. Another day of drama. Red card, no card. We'll see. We'll talk about it right now.
How's the Cape?
I need a new cape, champ. I need a new cape.
J.C., how are you doing?
Doing all right. Was hoping for some better results, but here we are. Another day in the books.
I feel like the first 2 days of Champions League have kind of been a little slow. Like you're kind of
Yeah,
feeling like it should have picked up a little bit. First game that we're going to talk about, obviously Real Madrid. They beat Chelsea 2-0. It felt like Chelsea really took it to Madrid at the beginning of the game. Same way that Liverpool kind of did, moving the football around very well. They had some open chances with João Felix. Raheem Sterling, it didn't seem that he really got in the game at all. Seemed like it was more João, but they had their opportunities, they had their chances. Thibaut Courtois did a good job. Vinicius, obviously, he tore up that left side. Nobody could keep up with
Fofana,
him.
Fofana.
Yeah, they
Where'd you
couldn't.
go?
Yeah, Reece James and nobody could keep up with that guy over on the left side. But at the end, Madrid ended up winning 2-0. Felt like they could have put in at least another 3 or 4 goals, but 2-0 is still a little bit shaky, especially because I didn't think Chelsea played all that bad. Eddie, I don't know what you thought, but
Yeah,
I really do think that Madrid need to be on their toes come that second leg.
man. Honestly, that Joao Felix chance would have probably changed the whole way and the whole dynamic of the game. I think, honestly, I don't know why he slowed down. I think with his first touch, if he moves across and puts his body in front of the defender that's chasing him, which is Militao, two things happen. Either Militao backs off because he doesn't want to commit the foul, or Militao commits the foul, and Madrid see a red card, right? But that wasn't the case. Sterling, anonymous all game, really waste of space. Unfortunately, I think Reece James had a poor showing. Kante's still not at 100%. But credit to Chelsea, and they came out and they tried to fight and fight hard, and they did. But at the end, it was just Benzema, Vinicius was too much. Rodrigo was causing some problems. Man, when Carvajal is out here throwing assists,
yeah.
something's going on. So
hmm
credit to Madrid though. I think we all saw picked Madrid to move forward in this tie. I didn't think Chelsea were going to do anything special. It's going to be interesting going back to Stamford Bridge, and hopefully, they put on a show and try to get the scoreline down from 2-0. But it's going to look real hard for them to overcome this, I think.
It's funny. Before I go to JT, Henri was saying on CBS Golazo after, he's like, dude, you're taught to either go at the defender or go or cut across and try and
Yeah,
tire out the defender so that he
yeah,
can make a mistake. He's like, and João Felix didn't do either. He just kind of gave. He's like, honestly, he played exactly. He had beaten Militao. He's like, he had
yeah.
actually given him the easiest route, which was slow down, wait for him to catch up to you, and then see what you're gonna do. Take the shot. He took the shot, and it was just
I mean, I
a
think
bad
JC
ankle.
told me something off air earlier in the day, but I'll let him talk about it right now, which makes a lot of sense.
Go ahead, JC.
Yeah, he's not used to being that open. when you play when you play with a Cholo Simeone led team, I mean, your thought first is to look for the next pass. You're not anticipating having such a quick breakaway or to be that open. And you've seen it time and time again since he's gotten to Chelsea. He gets a bunch of these one-on-one opportunities, and he gets these breakaways, or he'll be in these positions where you
Or at
would
the
say
World
your
Cup with
instincts
Portugal.
your instincts say shoot, right? And that's what you were seeing from him early on in Atletico and in Benfica. Is just he's just stuck in his own head. And I mean, to transition now three managers in a 1 year's football span, four managers if you want to include the Portugal one, it's just mental. To go from Cholo to uh, the two Chelsea coaches now and Portugal manager, it's just the guy's just stuck in his own head and he needs a break. But tough red card there. That's kind of where you hang your head a lot when it comes to this result. Could have gone either way. Yeah, I thought it was soft. I mean, you just put a hand on the player now, and apparently it's a red
Law
card.
12, my guy. Law 12.
And it's crazy. It's just nuts. The interpretation is everything when you look at this, and if you want to interpret it as a breakaway one-on-one chance, I don't know, 4v1 doesn't really seem like a red card foul, but it is what it was. And Chelsea didn't play bad, but I mean, when you leave some guys on the bench that could have just honestly done something for you as far as running, like Gallagher and then Havertz even, but you go and choose Sterling, who hasn't been showing any form or any justification for a start. That's just kind of mental. Chelsea's too slow on the break after that. They didn't have an outlet at all. I mean, you just kind of see them sink into that low block and try to defend in bunches, but they just couldn't keep up with it at the end. Madrid had a pretty basic game plan, just abuse the wing and pass it back in and get a tap-in goal. And they had a couple there available. I don't know. Chelsea's, I wouldn't say are completely out, but it's going to be tough to come back. But now, 4 games in the books, and they're all kind of the same. A little bit of a slow start. I guess the only real shocker of a game was the City game, right? Other than that, all the other games are just kind of like, well, here we go, first leg. Let's just survive past this and kill each other in the second leg. It's almost like that's the mentality and the approach of these teams.
It's funny. You mentioned the João Felix thing. It's actually 5 managers in the last 5 months because Portugal's had 2 now he's had 2 managers with Portugal, two managers with Chelsea and Simeone. So it's a lot going through in 1 year. We'll see what stays in the head and what goes out through the other. But Eddie, what did you think about Vinicius today?
I was impressed. He took it up with Fofana, basically neutralized them and took him out of the game. This is one of Chelsea's defenders, most expensive defenders, I may add. And ever since he come back from injury, he doesn't look like, that defender that was at Leicester and why Chelsea spent the money they did. But Vinicius, really, really mature game from him. Stuck to the game plan, like J.C. said, run down the wing, cause trouble. The link-up play was there. I thought that the first goal was kind of soft on Kepa's part. I thought Kepa could have done a lot better. But, it is what it is. Vinicius did his thing. Can't fault the kid. Guy's playing I think he's in the form of his life right now. Even though he's so young, it's really hard to stop this guy when he's got it going. But again, unfortunate red card that Chelsea saw. Again, that's the law 12. The law, clear-cut chance, one-on-one. Can't do that. You can't do that. And it's a red card. I had no problem with it. But, yeah, Vinicius, watch out, man. If he can continue this form, it's going to make me regret picking Napoli to win it all.
JC, do you think for the second leg, because it might not have worked with Sterling and kind of the formation that he had, do you think Lampard will kind of maybe be over his head? Not really, maybe what we say about Pep, that Pep sometimes overthinks it and throws out a kind of like a dumb lineup out there. Do you feel like Lampard might do that in the second leg, especially with it not have worked on Wednesday?
I feel like he kind of did it today, right? For this game, really.
Everybody chooses Sterling for some
reason. Where do you pull Sterling out from? I don't understand. Potter left him on the bench a long time ago, and he never went back to him, even though he featured him in the first few matches he was there. So I don't understand why you would bring a Sterling on. I mean, I guess if you're not going to start Havertz because he hasn't been showing great form, then so be it. But to start Sterling over Gallagher or even Mason Mount, who's your quote unquote, your guy, your gem,
a few chances.
That's your go-to. And, to not go ahead and start those guys, but you start Sterling, who just looked like on a whole different page the whole time. He never linked really, didn't really make any runs, didn't support too much. It was nuts to see him even get the start. And then by the time you make the subs for Gallagher, it's just the game's too far gone. You're just, here you go, guys, go do something. Show me why I should have started you almost was like a bit of the energy you saw.
I have a question for both of you. So on the poster for featuring today's game, it was Leao, and I think I can't remember the striker's name. You guys both want him for Man United. The striker from Napoli. Osimhen. And it was Benzema versus a player that didn't even see the field today. I was wondering why they put him on the poster, but he didn't see any minutes. Did you guys see Christian
CBS
Wilson play today or no?
Sports. CBS
Anybody
Sports,
see him play?
Come on, man. Don't
Come on, don't
start.
be mad at
Don't
them. Don't be
start.
mad at
Don't.
them. Come
I'm
on,
asking
What's
you.
it's not his fault that the media used him as the the
He's a
player to put
marketable
on
player,
there.
bro.
Come
That's why
on,
he's
guys.
there. People
Don't do
recognize
that.
his face.
You have a personal vendetta against him or something.
I don't. I'm
know.
just
What did
wondering.
he do to you?
I'm just wondering. Like they use him for all this stuff,
It's
yet
not
the
his
results,
fault. We spoke
the
about this.
results
It's not
don't.
his
He
fault. It's
loves
not
it.
his
He loves the
fault.
attention.
He's
He
a
loves the
marketable
attention.
player.
By the way,
I don't think he asked to be there.
Did you see he's not on the? Well, I mean, none of the European players are on for that April 19th matchup against Mexico.
Oh, that'll be all the worse.
They already came out. They already came out with the roster, and it's like that old school team. Like there's no Pulisic, there's no Pepe, there's no like none of those guys from Europe are coming out and playing in that game.
And that's great. And good on coach for doing that.
Showing how
and
the process is
what's
done.
happening is
Let them
Boca's
handle
going
the
to call
business
all
out there.
the quote unquote little stars from Europe, and he's still not going to play Santiago Jimenez. And when he's losing, he's going to try to throw him in the fire. Save me, and it's not going to happen.
So,
out.
J.C. in that red cup, do you have the little what was it? What were those things called? The Fruit Loops straw?
The
little fruit scoop straw? The one that you can melt with your milk?
It's just a stir stick.
The one you can melt with your milk.
That's just a stir stick. It bends, for stirring purposes. Keep my drink, mixed.
Eddie, what did you? I thought Chelsea's defense was actually pretty strong on Wednesday. What did you think?
It was strong. I think Thiago Silva was there. I think Ben Chilwell has been showing great form for Chelsea, and I thought he put in a shift, but again, unfortunately, saw red. Cucurella came in and did his part, which is interesting because he was in and out of the Potter squad. Just Fofana. Fofana was their weakest link, and I feel like Ancelotti knew that, and that's what he exposed. And Vinicius went at him every chance he got, and Fofana was, looking for his own shoes at sometimes because it's like, man, like where am I? Who am I playing against? And then Thiago Silva was probably like, man, this guy's playing against us, know, and that's what it felt like because
head was in the blender.
If you want Reece James to be doing what he does best, which is, start attacks and cross the ball and get involved in the attacking play, he can't do that when he has to keep tracking back to help Fofana out. The whole reason you play with Fofana there is for Reece James not having to do so much defensive work and help you on the attacking side of the ball. But that wasn't the case. I don't know. I think Kepa had an okay showing, not a great showing by any means, but an okay showing. We'll see, man. We'll see when they go back to Stamford Bridge. Anything can happen. 90 minutes, you know it. I know it. But again, I think it's going to be real tough for them to do anything if Frank Lampard decides to, again, start Sterling and not give minutes to other players that are probably more deserving.
Obviously, I don't know if you guys saw this stat. Ramadan Benz continues it. 14 goals in 9 Champions League knockout games for him.
Crazy.
The only game that he did not score in was the Liverpool. I don't think he scored against Liverpool, but other than that, he scored in every single knockout since.
Well, he didn't score against Liverpool
but he
back at the
put up
but he scored against Liverpool.
Yeah, my bad. That's what I meant.
Yeah.
So there's that stat, and then there's this one.
Ancelotti's got a stat too, right? Yeah.
Ancelotti, which one?
He's got like 35 wins now as a Madrid coach in Champions League. If I'm not mistaken.
I didn't see that.
Today's win was number 35 for him.
Which pretty good. Is something else.
Yeah, there's this everybody.
Benzema ties Holland Holland ties Benzema for the most scored among players in the top 5 since the World Cup.
That's a lot of goals, man. That's a lot of goals. What do the memes say? That Norwegian robot is up there somewhere. Just send it, Kevin. Just send it.
Just like Randy Moss puts his hand up and
he's
gone.
He's gone. I'll be surprised if you see him wearing a Madrid jersey pretty soon.
Who?
The Norwegian robot.
Holland? That'd be interesting. I mean, I don't know if Pep is gonna. I saw today that supposedly Liverpool have dropped out of the Jude Bellingham
Oh,
Yeah,
you saw that, huh?
yeah.
sweepstake. No, but they're saying that
Mm.
Man City's now leading it. But if
Mhm,
you're him, like, you can look at
mhm,
look at the
mhm.
face. Look at
That's
That's
Batman's
not
face.
crazy.
happening. That's not happening.
He
That
wouldn't want
is
to go there,
crazy.
right? Like,
For
you're
Jude
just gonna.
Bellingham, I'll go to Madrid and try to fight for my place there. Then go spend a year or two with Pep and riding the bench because Pep is, you know, trying to quote unquote ease me into his system. I'm cool. I'm not trying to do that.
Yeah, no, and that's why I had mentioned it because that's what I saw that Liverpool had
I
dropped out.
honestly feel that Tony Kroos, this is his last year with Madrid. I honestly feel it.
Yeah, I
The
mean,
spot's gonna
So,
be there.
it seems like Modric still wants to go another
and I think
year, but
Camavinga found his new position.
I am
So,
just saying. Left back Tommy.
that
yeah.
was a soft yellow, by the way, to start off the game. They gave
I'm
someone
with
like
you. I'm
6
with
minutes
you.
into the game.
The ref was just on one the whole game. I don't get it. And
Yeah.
then I just
No,
don't want to hear
and
Madrid
again,
doesn't get any
I agreed
favors, you
with
know?
you. I agreed with you with that. I thought that should have been a yellow. I thought that should have been a yellow. The one against Rodrigo, that should have been a yellow. That's not a red
Mm,
card.
studs are
Probably
showing.
there. That boy just threw
Hmm.
himself, you know.
I don't
Yeah,
know, but all right,
it's
let's
tough.
move on now to. Are you guys all good with this
Oh
one?
yeah,
Let's
onto the
do it.
firecracker.
All right. Let's move on now to Milan. I
This
thought it
one
was
right
surprising.
here.
They ended up beating
Yeah.
Napoli 1-0. I thought it was a pretty surprising result. It was kind of a back and forth. Both teams had some good chances.
Yeah,
Uh, Dale Hernandez was just wrecking all over on that left side. Him and Chucky Lozano kind of got into it at one point where
of course.
Theo was laughing at him and saying something to him, and Chucky came up and shoved him, and they kind of got into it for a little bit. But
Mm.
obviously, it's all hand slapping, and they're not going to really do anything. But Eddie, what did you make of this game? Was it a bit like? Did you feel like it was? I don't want to put this. Were you surprised by it? I mean, Milan ended up winning 1-0.
I think it was a typical Serie A showing, honestly. Credit to Maigan because it looked like Maigan was making very important saves for them.
Yeah.
Ever since he made the move from Nantes, I believe it was at Nantes to AC Milan. He's been a godsend. I think he's showed better, I guess, starts for Milan than Donnarumma ever did, and that's saying a lot. But yeah, no, for sure. I think Di Lorenzo had a couple chances.
My
I don't want
God.
to butcher the Georgia boy's name, but we've been talking about him, and he looked lively. Leao had a crazy run and could have resulted in a goal. I think that's one thing he needs to work on is his finishing. I think we spoke about that in the past, but the guy looks ready made. Um,
I forgot there was a red card in the game too.
Yeah.
yeah,
Double
the red
yellow.
card was a double yellow, but I think it was a
Oh
little
yeah, my bad.
soft.
Accumulation.
Yeah, it's a little soft, a little soft. Good goal by Milan. Let's say it was lucky. Um, but again, let's not count Napoli out because they did have a lot of chances.
A
Right,
lot.
they had far more chances
Well, and Osimhen didn't
than
play.
Milan ever did. So yeah, so I think if you're Napoli 1-0, you'll take it, understanding that you're one of the hottest teams in Europe and you can easily score 2 or 3 goals. And I think that's what's going to happen. If you're a Napoli fan, no time to panic. Spalletti must probably a little mad and upset that they lost 1-0. But if you want to take any positives from it, Di Lorenzo looked like he was very lively up front in the attack. Had a couple chances there. Your striker wasn't playing, but you still were able to create dangerous, um, attacking positions and getting the ball in and crossing the ball in and headering and getting shots on target. So, it's not all bad. It's not all bad. And if you're Milan, I think you might just try to hunker down and play this 1-0 and play for your life because, Napoli is a dangerous team.
JC, what did you make of this game?
You could definitely tell Osimhen was missing out there. I mean, this is that big void right there where you're supposed to have your striker, and they try to put Elmans there, and it wasn't happening, you know. And you try to send those crosses, but shout out Di Lorenzo, really very underrated. I feel like every time Napoli plays, he's almost looking like the engine for the squad in a lot of chances in a lot of ways, just because he just starts pushing a lot of stuff from the backside. But he definitely tries playing like a true captain, and he's looked like a striker today almost. He was just in and out of the box all the time, all day, left and right. having a bunch of chances, but I mean, that's kind of what happens when you have a defender taking the shots for you. He's going to whiff a lot of them that should be going in when you have a striker, but you don't really hang your head if you're Napoli and Milan plans on just playing all 11 back and defending a 1-0 lead. I don't think that's going to be a great game plan. They're going to have a lot of problems to deal with if they do get a full fit Osimhen back in the lineup. And shout out their midfield too. Milan was just doing work. Donali just locking down that midfield, playing like that player that they are banking on him to be, and just really kind of being that true holder for them, and letting Brahim go crazy and go on a run and lay out more than anything. Just every time he touches the ball, you almost hold your breath that something's going to happen. He's going to take a 1-2 players on and make a play happen out of nothing. And it's just, for me, probably one of the better games. You hope to see a little bit more from Napoli, but a full fit striker Osimhen up there on top changes the game for them a lot. And who knows, you might have been seeing a completely different scoreline by a lot had Osimhen been there for a lot of those opportunities they had.
Are you guys impressed, Eddie? Are you impressed that Chucky has kind of had a hold mostly this season on that starting position? I mean, I know he's older and everything, but it's not really like there really hasn't been a consistent Mexican player really keep like a legit starting role in a European team for I think a while now. I mean, I don't count Edson Alvarez or anybody like that, but like,
Yeah.
But do you feel like it's a positive for him that he is starting all these games and he is kind of having an impact?
He's matured, and he was on his way out from Napoli when Gattuso was there, and I think Gattuso literally told him, even called him out in the media, saying, "Hey, you need to show me why I need to play you. Doesn't matter if I'm playing you 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever it is. You need to earn those minutes." And I think he took that to heart. And Chucky being Chucky, I didn't think he wanted to go to a big club and feel like a failure. Um, and yeah, that's been really impressive. The way he's matured, the way he's taken on that responsibility, the way he's been fighting other players within that position to keep a hold of that position. It's promising if you're a Mexico fan, if you're a Chucky Lozano fan. It's just too bad that there's not that many Mexicans abroad that you can say that about. Santi Jimenez right now, recently, he looks like he got a hold of that striker position at Feyenoord.
Does the
He's
Federation know
looking
who
like
that
the
is?
go-to guy. Well, I know they know who that is, but do they want to play him? Coca, I don't know. Let's see what he's thinking. But really, it's just Chucky Lozano and Santi Jimenez right now. I don't really count Edson Alvarez. I'm not, I don't really rate him. We're gonna probably get killed in the comments for that. But good on Chucky for taking Gattuso's I want to say advice, but more so like motivation, and finally, being that starter that we all thought he could always be.
La verdad no peca, incomoda.
There you go.
So, anything else from this game, boys?
No, not really. I mean, Chucky, shout out, man. Keep working it.
Let me ask you guys: between these two games, who should be more nervous about remontada, Real Madrid or Milan? Eddie,
Milan.
J.C.
I don't think it would be much of a remontada, but yeah, Milan definitely. Chelsea don't really seem to know where you even start.
So I was gonna leave it there, but there was some news today. I don't know how much you guys put this news, but I guess there was an incident in the locker room yesterday after Bayern Munich lost to Man City. According to multiple reports, there was a big dust up between Sadio Mane and Leroy Sané last night. Both had an argument on the pitch after the whistle. Final whistle. Mane complained about how Sané spoke to him on the pitch. Suddenly, the Senegalese, thank you, attacked Sané and hit him in the face on the lip. Sané and Mane had to be separated by their teammates in order to calm things down. Sané was sent out of the dressing room. Eyewitnesses report that the blow left marks on Sané's face. FC Bayern did not want to comment on the incident and possible consequences.
That is unfortunate.
What, JC, what do you think of this?
I have no problem with this. This is what you want. You got guys in the locker room that want to win, and I just feel like this is a sign of accountability. Frustrated Sané a frustrated Mane, but more or less, I feel like it's more of a frustrated Mane who really hasn't been able to play too much. And when he gets on the pitch and you're not playing some quality chances to him, or he's not playing to the level, and then teams really not doing their part too much, I guess you could say. And I never had a problem with teams fighting it out like this, and guys holding each other accountable. So if they want to go and put the gloves on, put them on, and let's duke it out, and let's get together back on the next game, and let's finish strong.
So before I go to Eddie on this, we do have some video of the fight. We got it right here.
I got a feeling it's not much of a fight. Oh yeah, I had a feeling.
Wait, no.
Exactly what I
Thomas
said.
Mueller trying to stop them.
Guys, stop it!
Thomas Mueller.
Guys, stop! You guys,
oh God!
Don't do that to each other. Are you guys okay?
That is terrible.
I shouldn't be in charge. I shouldn't be in charge of this. This is why I start doing dumb stuff.
It's okay, Sham. We all know you're a Kim Kardashian fan. And you watch.
Hey, we all are. We all.
That's your guilty pleasure. That's your guilty pleasure.
I saw this on Twitter.
Yeah,
and I
everybody has one.
I was like, this is way too good not to put on here. That was pretty funny. But Eddie,
hopefully it was more than that.
Eddie, what do you?
Sane needs to respect Mane, because Mane has won everything, including the Champions League. And Sane can learn something about him. And let me tell you something. Sane, everywhere he's gone, has had disciplinary issues. At Schalke, they had problems with the kid. At Man City, Pep clearly had problems with the kid, and there was always a story about him, being insubordinate and not trying to play the way that the team wants to play, blah, 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 blah. And now Bayern, and I know Bayern do not tolerate this type of behavior. So I wouldn't be surprised if they're keeping their mouth shut right now. But, at some point, they release him and looking to move him elsewhere, because, you don't want that stuff to happen and boil over outside of the locker room. Keep that stuff inside the locker room. J.C. said, back in the days, put the gloves on, square it off, and loser gives the hand, and that's it, whatever. But it's no longer like that. Phones are everywhere. People talk to the media, X, Y, and Z. You don't want that type of stuff to be coming out of your locker room. And if you're Thomas Tuchel, you just got the job, and this is already happening. It's not a good look, right? I'm not saying it's Thomas Tuchel's fault, because you have a bad apple, but at the same time, some of the stuff has to fall on the manager as to why are your players reacting the way they are and not being considerate of the bigger picture. That's all I'm saying.
I agree with both of you guys. Oh God, why do people leave me in charge of anything? Last thing. Sergio Aguero had some interesting things to say about Cristiano Ronaldo today.
Come on, man.
No?
I know. Go ahead. Let me know.
Yeah,
I already know what he did. Is it about the free kicks?
Yeah, but so he went a little bit deeper. I saw a little. So he goes, Sergio Aguero today said, what does, basically comparing, he congratulated Messi for a free kick or a goal. And talking about Cristiano Ronaldo on Twitch, he goes, what does he do? All his free kick goals are pure luck. And then he even went a little bit further and said, hold on. Come on, all his free kicks and goals are pure luck. Messi's are all at an angle. Stupid. But what does Ronaldo do? Goalkeeper's fault. I think Raul has had better goals. I think even Karim Benzema has had better ones than him. And he also stated that he will never be able to match Messi at all in anything. So, and we have to remember Sergio Aguero is obviously, Messi is Sergio Aguero's son's godfather and everything. So I think he has to obviously say all that stuff, but I don't know what.
Best buds forever.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know what you guys made of that.
No, he sounds very Max Kellerman with his. Makes sense. He'll say something like that on the anniversary of the. I'll take Iguodala to have the last shot.
That's kind of crazy, huh? Of all days, of all days.
Sounds the same to
Something
me.
about the moon, huh?
Sergio Aguero's been very chatty ever since he stopped playing. It's
not Ronaldo who started the knuckleball trait when you do free kicks. It's not Ronaldo who had free kicks from outside 40 meters. It's not Ronaldo that when he got to Real Madrid, he was banging in free kicks from wherever. and we're gonna call that lucky. Come on, guy, relax. You have like what 2 free kicks your entire career? This guy has 59.
But that's why he has to shield himself with
Relax,
Messi, and he has
guy.
to talk about Messi.
Relax.
He can't talk about himself. He has to talk about Messi. I was waiting for
Relax.
Aguero to be like, "Oh, well, at least I've held the World Cup trophy. You haven't." Because even like that
That's what I
guy,
was about to say.
Since
He's
Aguero had
saying
to
a
cut
lot
his
ever
career
since he won
short
the
due
World
to a
Cup.
health problem.
yeah,
No fault of his own, health reasons, whatever it is. Okay, I get it. Since he cut his career short because of it, now he's just out here defending Messi to a
It just
star.
sounds a
He's
little
looking
bitter.
like ESPN. He's looking like ESPN
But
FC.
you couldn't even leave on.
Messi.
You
Come
couldn't
on.
even leave on, and I'm
Be
not
real.
trying to crap on him. Like, I'm glad he's all right and everything, but you didn't leave on the best of terms. 1, 2, but you're doing all this yapping. Like, dude, like, what do you like? You should like. I don't know. I just don't think he should be yapping as much as
He was a great player, a great goal scorer for Manchester City.
Yeah.
You know, good for him, but you know, he's not even on Cristiano's level to even try to be talking about that. It's only him and Messi have the most free kicks of any other player that's currently active right now. And I think Messi has like 57 or something, and Ronaldo has 59. What are you even talking about comparing both of them? Like, don't do that. You look silly. It's like me comparing you to Fernando Torres. And if I say Fernando Torres managed to stay healthy his that entire career,
that's a bad
talking
look.
About we wouldn't even be talking about Sergio Aguero right now.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Crazy.
Stop that.
Uh-oh. Deleted scenes?
I think it's time.
It's the director's cut.
Well, one of my cakes was in the washing machine. Got a stain. And well,
it's Batman time.
You know, riddle me this.
No, Sir Ed.
Exactly. Well, we appreciate you guys again for joining us on this short edition of Champions League recap with Compas FC. Again, we will be back next week, second leg of the Champions League. For the second game, though, next Wednesday, we will be doing an episode of the Champions League. And on top of that, Mexico and the U.S. play. So we'll be breaking down the 2 Champions League games and Mexico versus the U.S. So interesting.
Hold on, Chan. We might recap that Europa, too. Don't disrespect my team now.
Yeah, no. We can do it.
Don't disrespect my team now. People say we're Madrid fans.
Big, fat, skinny, and tall. We do it all. Don't worry about
it. We do
it
all. We do it all.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no. Whatever the folks want, whatever the boys want, we'll do it. So don't worry about it. We got it all. We just got to ask Batman to put on that cape take off the cape for a little bit to join us, but I'm sure he'll be willing to do that. But we appreciate you guys so much again for joining us. Don't forget to check out all things Compas on the Beat. Don't forget to check out the regular Compas on the Beat, where we talk about Carson Palmer stirring the pot with Patrick Mahomes versus Joe Burrow debates in April. We have a lot of draft talk as well, so don't forget to check that out. We got What's Up Bolts, House of Horns, Combat Compas. Hey, you guys were asking, when is Combat Compas coming back? We're back. We have a lot of great interviews. I interviewed The Miz, MVP. I interviewed a lot of Natalia, a lot of really amazing people. Go check out all those interviews. And guys, Gilbert and I will be jumping on live as soon as Ryan Garcia and Tank Davis fight's over. We will be answering questions, whatever you guys want. So don't forget to jump on over there, subscribe, and we will be jumping on. So don't forget about that. But we appreciate you guys so much. Don't forget, like, comment, subscribe. We appreciate you guys. Be a compa, tell a compa. Thank you guys so much.